Hey everyone, welcome to the session on musical interpretation. This is a phrase you'll hear a lot around 12 Stone as we talk about how we learn music. Musical interpretation defined in our context is how what you listen to informs what you play. In other words, you will listen to a piece of music or to the ISO track for your specific instrument, and that will inform what you choose to play. And what you choose to play is really determined by how well you're able to interpret and replicate what you heard. So we need to be able to answer the question why. Why did you play what you played? Not why in a demeaning or in a questioning sense, but why did you play that riff, or that voicing, or that inversion, that octave on that string, or on that tom, so on and so forth. We need to ask why from the perspective of our definition of musical interpretation. Based on what you listened to, why did you play what you played? You see, the more reps that we get at interpreting and replicating music effectively, the faster our preparation time gets, but not just faster, more effective. Now, I use the word replicate loosely. When you're learning your part from an ISO or a tutorial video, we really ought to approach learning that part as close to exact as possible. But not so you can be a musical robot, but because for most of us, if not all of us, we still have a lot to learn. And when we dissect the part that someone else, likely a professional producer or player, wrote and played, what we're actually doing is cataloging riffs and voicings and grooves and parts and sounds into our own musical library. You're not only learning the part to execute now, but logging it away to access later. So what this does for us is as we are listening to and learning parts in the future, you can go, oh, I know exactly what they're doing, or what voicing they're playing, what inversion that is, or how they're playing that drum groove because you've heard it, you've learned it, and you've logged it all before. So really musical interpretation helps us move down the road in our musical journey and helps us get better, which is really what we all want, right? Another reason that we want to sharpen our musical interpretation is because it serves the other people on our teams. When everyone comes to rehearsal, well practiced, having interpreted and replicated as well as they are able to, our first run through of the song is really pretty sharp, or at least it ought to be. And we usually only have a few minor adjustments to make. However, if everyone on the team casually interprets the music, what we end up with is an interpretation mess that we have to fix. And in our context, with our limited rehearsal time, it's pretty rare that we'll be able to catch and address each issue. So we end up wasting valuable rehearsal time to find and fix musical problems that could have been avoided by each of us looking through the same musical lens of how we interpret music. So what this does for us in our context of rehearsal is if we are all really pretty sharp and prepared, having interpreted and replicated as well as we're able, we help create a margin of time in our rehearsals that allows us to change up things or modify parts, and if we feel like it needs something, create together. But that can only happen when we have the time, and it can only get that time if each of us is well practiced and prepared. And that only happens from each of us approaching our personal preparation and practice by peering through the same musical interpretation lens. Does that make sense? Awesome. Well, thanks for watching, and let us know if you have any questions along the way.